Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As I've aged, I find myself more comfortable with who I am, more at peace, comfortable enough that I am confident enough to jump on a motorcycle and ride across state lines by myself. That is true now, but it wasn't always like that. So let's hang out today. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about that. See guys, when we are young, we worry so much, man, about what other people think about us. And this is because a lot of our sense of self comes from other people's perception of us. So for me, growing up as an introvert, back then I didn't even know that existed. Like I didn't know what that was. But I know I was different. It was a little difficult for me to make friends. I was really shy and quiet. But like any other kid, I wanted to belong. So during those years, that pressure of being accepted, of fitting in, affected how I did certain things. You know, I affected the way I dressed, the music I listened to, the people I hang out with. If I knew then what I know now, maybe I would have done things a little bit different, right? Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? When I was a senior in high school, I got into a really bad car accident. I ended up in crutches for months. You see, back then I was a little bit of a speed demon. I love anything with wheels. Cars, motorcycles, machines that, motor vehicles. So I bought my first car before I was old enough to drive. I was 15 years old when I bought my first car. It was just a shell. It wasn't running. And then me and a friend of mine, we worked on it until we got it running. And I started hot rodding it a little bit. You know, the car was a piece of shit. It was a rust bucket, but the engine was strong. Now the brakes, that was another story. The brakes were shit. Those of you who know 70s Volkswagens, they're drum brakes all around. So that car still had the drum brakes, and the master cylinder was kind of old and tired. So I was saving money to upgrade the braking system because, well, fast is relative, right? Especially when you're talking about a Beetle. The little thing was a little bit too fast for the fact that it didn't really have good braking power. So I was saving money to take care of that. One day, I go to school and I have a friend that had already signed with the Army Reserves. He signed in a year before I did. And he tells me, Freddy, like, you know the subwoofers that you have been looking for, that you've been watching for years? Well, the PX have a sale on them. It's the biggest sale of the year. You can get them for like half of what they're worth. And there's the devil in the shoulder, right? I have saved money for the brake system, but I can do the brakes later, I'm thinking. I'm not gonna be able to get those speakers later. Like the sale is now, I'm gonna have to pay more for them later. So of course, my dumb ass goes, my friend jumps on the car and we head out to go get the speakers. Little did I know that I'm gonna run into another friend of mine on the road, and then we start racing. Long story short, I overcook a corner, and my brakes failed, and I just slide straight into a passenger van that's coming in the other direction. I hit it head on. Both vehicles were total. It wasn't pretty, and that stuff like messed with my head for years. Like, we're talking about something that I was 17, I'm 51 now. I still feel weird when I go back home to Puerto Rico and I drive through that area. It still messes with me. So anyway, the recovery was long. I was in crutches for months. I was so ashamed of what happened and what people would think about me after doing what I did and hurting the people I hurt and all of that shit. I was the one that was hurt the most, by the way. Luckily, nobody died, but so I was so ashamed that I skipped my senior prom and all other activities related to my graduation. I did graduate. Like my teachers and some friends and my parents kind of like rallied around me and got on my ass for me to go and walk and get my high school diploma. And then they pushed me to go to college. That's a different story. I almost didn't go because I was just not right. If I could go back in time, I would handle that situation completely different, you know? But that's not the way life works. Like, you live, you learn, you move on, right? And whatever you did, you did. But maybe that's why they say that that youth is wasted on the young. Because when we're young, we don't know what the hell we're doing. As we age, with time, the hold that other people's opinions have on us start to fade a little bit. Partially because of the experience that we live, but mostly because we start to understand that the world is more complicated than we thought. Everybody's going through some shit. Everyone have their own things that they're dealing with. No one really care about what we're doing or how we do it or any of that. So there really is no need for us to worry about that. So as we continue to mature, then we slowly start becoming more aware of who we are as people. And we also begin accepting who we are. For me, part of that realization allowed me to move forward towards riding motorcycles. You know, with time and with time and age, man, I began to understand that I wasn't the same guy that caused that accident like nearly 30 years ago. Like, I've grown so much since then. I'm not the same person, you know. And then with that understanding, then I also learned to deal with the after the accident. You know, it didn't really matter what people thought about me or how I felt or what I thought they were thinking. Like, I didn't know. They probably weren't thinking shit, and I was worrying too much about nothing, right? Who knows? But the truth is, it doesn't matter, because it's not their life, it's mine, right? That helped me deal better with the fact that I cheated death back then, and all that shame that I felt was unwarranted, and that it was time to move on and just start living my life the way I wanted to live it. As we get older, we stop feeling that need to please others, partially because we begin to understand that there are people that just cannot be pleased. And in reality, it's not our job to please everyone. I mean, if you try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one and miserable. We also become more aware of who we are, and we stop basing our assessment of our worth on what other people think of us. So, what does that mean? Well, my friends, we have to do what makes us happy. So for you guys too, man, like, go out there and get that motorcycle. That's what you want. Take that long trip, you know, take that vacation, go to that place, shoot your shot. You know what I mean? Shoot your shot today, because tomorrow is not promised. Don't allow other people's ideas to influence how you live your life. And that doesn't mean don't care about people. Like, I do care about people. I care a whole lot about people. But they're not gonna dictate how I live my life. Like, we have to do that ourselves. It's our life. And it will end. So when all is said and done, man, who gives a fuck about what other people think? Do you, man? Be happy. So like always, guys, man, thank you so much for stopping by. We're over 500. I can't believe it, man. Thank you so much, Familia. I mean, thank you so much. Like I I never thought that the channel would get to 500. I mean, and I know it's small. Yeah, it's not like those other 100,000 followers of. Man, who gives a fuck? Like, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just having fun, and to know that there's 500 plus of you out there that care about what I have to say, it's pretty freaking awesome. So I thank you all. Like always, man, if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed and you're liking the content, then consider subscribing. If you like the video, then hit the like button. If you know somebody that you think might like it, then share it. And let's keep this baby growing. I'm humble and I'm blessed that you guys are tuning in. There are some interesting things happening, so I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know on the next video could be a little different. So we'll see, man. Stay tuned in. Thank you for stopping by, man, and I see you guys on the wind.